This evening, we gathered here, our honorable, respected President Sir, going to give introduction about our new program from the session 23 to 24 onwards, especially for class 11th and 12th. Our school going to initiate a new program, schooling plus coaching together, and we want to give more input to the students so that they can build a strong career. Further details, President Sir will brief now, and I request all of you to be in mute mode and listen carefully. And after session, everyone can ask the questions if any doubts are there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. As always, I will start with a prayer. There are two prayers. I'll tell you the meaning also. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakite swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Narayaneti samarpayami. I dedicate everything to that Supreme Lord Narayan. Whatever I perform with my body, speech, mind, limbs, intellect, my inner self, or intentionally and unintentionally. But there is a second prayer, which is, I think you will appreciate. These days I'm learning music, and I'm glad to see my music teacher is here. So he has told us that, when we start the music lessons, we have to pray to Ganeshji. And this is very relevant as it will become clear as I talk. Om Pratham Naman Garnayak Charana प्रथम नमन गणनायक चरणा अमित विघन अरुमति भ्रम हरना अमित विघन अरुमति भ्रम हरना संगीत शास्त्र पठन चाहत हूँ संगीत शास्त्र पठन चाहत हूँ बुद्धि बल देहु मैं तुम्हारे शरणा. So this prayer says something very interesting. कि गणेश जी से प्रार्थना, we are praying to Ganesh ji, but he is telling us कि विघन अरु mati bhram harna. Whatever obstacles come in my way of study, please remove that. And mati bhram. Mati bhram is very important, because if you are confused about what you are learning and how you are going to learn, the whole thing will be a mass confusion. So with that introduction, I'll request Mr. Srivastav to project the slides so I can start talking about that. This is a very interesting conversation going to be. There is a lot of confusion in the minds of 10th class, 11th class students, and they want to succeed in life. Actually, it is very important. This time of the life, age 15 to 17, is very important. It will decide. I'm waiting for the slides to come. So,
okay, sir, I'm sharing.
It is very important period of life. There are three most important periods in your life. Number one, your birth. because your birth decides what environment you're going to have. And then at the age of 15 to 17, you decide on your future career, what your life is going to be like. And the third most important event is your marriage. So I'm not going to talk about marriage. I'm not going to talk about um, birth. So this period, I want to illustrate that there are some lessons to be learned from my life. And I want to present to you, and you may not know my background. I started out my schooling straight from third grade. I went to the school, they took my test, and they started me on the third grade. Straight. No first, second, no lower KG, upper KG. And those days, India got independence, and I got double promoted. I was in fourth grade, and I was promoted to the sixth. Everybody was promoted, not just me, because they wanted to replace the staff which is running the country, because Englishmen were leaving, there are a lot of vacancies. So what was the net result? I finished 12th class at the age of 15. Now it's not possible. Now the government has that you have to be 6 years old before you start your first. So for me, I finished 12th class at 15, and I wanted to be a doctor. So I had to wait 2 more years. So I said, okay, I will join the bachelor's degree at Allahabad University, BSc. And it took me 2 years there. And I was 17 when I became eligible to appear for the pre-medical test. So I had 2 years of graduate training. Yes.
Sir, can you see the screen?
No, I cannot see anything yet. I'm just talking extempore.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So I finished my BSc, but I felt that I don't know enough to. Yes, now here it is. Now I can see the screen. Now proceed to the next screen, please.
Okay, sir.
We are preparing you for the future. IHS is working very hard. Next slide, please. To prepare you for your future. So the lessons from my story are, like I said, I appeared for the pre-medical test at 17, and before I appeared, I took some coaching during the summer vacation. But there was a pandemic going on with flu. There was all over the world, there was flu pandemic, like we had just now a pandemic of a different virus. So I did not want to lose a week, because usually in a viral infection, you spend 7 days and it takes its own time. Of course, now there are medicines available. You can nip it in the bud. But what did I do? I rented a room. I didn't rent the room. My parents rented a room. And it was a solitary room with only one room and an attached bathroom and latrine. And I locked myself in for 90 days. I forget now whether it was 30 days or 45, but a long time. What happened? I did not come in contact with any human person, no face. I did not see anybody for all the time I was in that room. And the food was just brought in. Believe me, they created a space on the lower end of the door, and the food was passed on through that door. I did not see anybody. And what did I do? I slept and I studied. And when I got tired of studying, I used to do yoga asanas. I did yoga asanas many times as soon as I felt that my concentration is going away. And so I did that. But to my surprise, when the question paper came, I saw a sagittal section of the brain in the question. Sagittal section is when you cut the face like this. And what do you see on the side on the in the picture? That's what they wanted me to describe. Lo and behold, I did not know that. Of course, I did not know sagittal section. But I want to tell you that that sagittal section I did not study till I was second year in the medical school. But they had asked that question in the PMT. Now, why do they do that? Because so many bright students are appearing for the test, they have to sort it out. Yes, decide a merit list. So they give some outlandish questions. Well, all that sagittal section, but I was still fifth in the whole batch. There was only 2 medical colleges. Those days, Agra Medical College and Lucknow Medical College, 200 seats. Now the situation is different. Now there are 74 districts in UP, and each district is going to have a medical college. A few months ago, I was at Pratapgarh Medical College, and I saw they were all under construction. The staff was there, the students were there. So you have a better chance. If you want to be a doctor, you have 100 seats in each medical college. So you can see 7,400 students. So I also learned, and I want you to learn it yourself also. The last point on this slide I want to make, you should log in to the curriculum for JEE and also for NEET. Log in the curriculum on the internet. They are available on the internet. And also then log in the syllabus for CBSE. And you will see that the syllabus is similar in CBSE, that is NCERT curriculum, and also the NEET and the JEE. The syllabus is the same, but there is a difference. There's a difference that the same topic you study in 11th and 12th class or throughout your schooling, but there is more depth expected from you on the same topic. More depth is expected. Next slide, please. So what is the meaning of this? I have seen students follow these 4 options. Some of them only do schooling. And some of them get selected into the competitive exams. How do they do that? Because they totally focused on the study, totally no distraction, and they are totally imbued with it. I'll tell you, something really happened to me. I was so dedicated for preparation of pre-medical test that after appearing at Lucknow Medical College, I was traveling by an overnight train to Agra, to appear for the test there. You will not believe what I'm going to tell you, but this actually is true. I was sleeping on the upper berth and I saw the 5 questions in my dream. But those 5 questions will be asked tomorrow exam. I saw them in my dream. Now, this can happen if you're totally focused on your study and no distraction. You can see something ahead, something behind. And I was surprised when I sat in the examination hall and I saw the question paper. I saw all those 5 questions. Because during the train ride, I told there was a Mr. Tiwari, I.N. Tiwari, my friend. I said, Tiwari, these are the 5 questions they're going to ask you tomorrow. So, you know what he told me? He says, you're crazy. You can't see the question paper like that. But when we sat next to each other in 2 different rows, when he saw the question paper and I saw, he was surprised, his eyes widely opened, that how could I see the question paper a night before? But this can happen. This is not impossible. What I'm trying to make here is many students who only do schooling, but they are totally dedicated to study, they also get selected. They don't take any coaching. Without coaching also you can get selected. The second option is school and coaching. We'll talk more about it. This school is misspelled here, typo there. Then the third option is partial schooling and coaching. So 1 day school is the last option. That's the worst option. Oh, I don't need to study. I'm so confident. I can study myself. And they come to school one day and they have convinced their parents. The parents love them. So they will say, okay, do whatever you want, get selected. So, but that's what I mean by 1 day schooling. But that's the worst option, because when you only do coaching, you learn how to pass an exam, that's all. You're no good for anything else. Your knowledge does not have the depth. Next slide, please. So what is the requirement now? It is different now. The CBSE says you have to score 75% marks in CBSE board exam. Because if you don't score enough, even if you pass your JEE or NEET, you'll not be selected there. So you have to pass both exams, CBSE as well as the competitive exam. Attendance is important. 75% attendance in the school is requirement from CBSE. So then they produce a merit list and they're selected. The top tier is selected. Lekin I put a Hindi quote here. Some people think I'm a 30 mark haan. I don't know if you understand that meaning. 30 mark haan. एक आदमी था, उसने 30 मक्खियां मारी थी और अपने को बड़ा बहादुर समझता था कि मैं तो 30 मक्खियां मार चुका हूं, मैं 30 मार खा हूं, मैं कोई भी काम कर सकता हूं. तो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस, सब लोग, some people are like that, some students are like that. Some people have a realistic idea how much they can do, how much their capacity is. But some of the others, oh no, I can do anything. Well, that's fine to have that confidence, but realistic hona chahiye. You should be realistic. So no schooling is a very bad choice. Next, please. Why is it a bad choice? It will become obvious in the next slide. So, but before we get to that, let's talk about the time management. Time is the most important thing you have. You can spend 1 lakh rupees and you cannot buy 1 second. Time आप खरीद नहीं सकते. You cannot buy. Because the clock is clicking forward. You cannot go back on the time. So what time you have to make the best use of it. And for that, you have to plan. You cannot expect to have a good time management without a proper plan. So what's a good proper plan? Good daily routine. That means good sleep. Sleep is very important because if you don't sleep enough, your memory will be affected. You'll not be able to remember things. So sleeping 7 hours, minimum 7, 8 hours is very important. And I'm going to teach you how to go to sleep because I've taught that to the patients. Some people have difficulty going to sleep. So in order to sleep, you have to relax before that. You stop stimulating yourself with music and TV and social networking, exciting things. So lay down straight on your back with your hands on the side and start taking deep breaths, slow deep breaths. And keep your eyes closed. And with each breath, you relax. First deep breath, when you breathe out, you relax your face muscles. Next deep breath, when you exhale, you relax your upper extremity. And third, you relax your belly. And fourth, you relax your legs. Like this, from up down, you relax your body and you'll find that you'll be able to go to sleep. So good sleep is very important. You cannot just be, okay, I'll only sleep 4 hours today or 5 hours. That's a counterproductive action. And then 30-minute aerobic exercise. Usme you breathe rapid. That's what aerobic exercise is. And Banaras is not, it's very crowded and not find streets suitable for running. So you can go to a park, or if you have a stationary bike, 30 minutes rapid breathing, jogging, any exercise you can do in which you can breathe rapid so that good oxygen exchange takes place. It refreshes your mind. And relaxation. Relaxation is also very important. You cannot be studying all the time, and you have to know how to relax. There are different people relax different ways. Some people sing. These days, with the grace of God, I'm learning singing, and I practice for hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. It's very relaxing. I'm not saying that you start learning music, but you can sing any filmy song, whatever, bhajan, whatever. Singing is good relaxation. And yoga is a good relaxation. Yoga exercise you can do. Everybody has a different way of relaxing. So now let's come to the time management. In America, these students spend 8 hours of time in the school. They come at 8 o'clock and they leave at 4. Every day, throughout the year, there is nothing like too hot and too cold, a snow day or whatever. 8 hours every day. Now look at your timetable, what we are proposing at IHS. For 11th and 12th classes, the school will start at 8 and finish by 12:30. Very concise, 4.5 hours. Some classes may be extended more because we are trying to minimize the time. And then I've talked to different coaching institutions. They have morning classes and evening. If you want to join coaching, join the evening class. from 5 to 8. Some of them have 4:30 to 8 or 5 to 8:30, but evening. So if you add up those 2 hours, school time and the coaching time, it comes to 7.5 hours, less than half an hour less than the American kids are spending 8 hours every day in the school. So then you have time between when the school is finished, 12:30, you go home, reach by 1 o'clock, get refreshed, take another shower. Doesn't matter if you take one shower in the morning. Start your schooling with a morning shower. Always, everybody should take a morning shower. And then take another shower if you want. And then do the self-study timetable. Make a timetable that I'm going to study this subject this day, just like you have a school timetable. I'm just telling you what I used to do when I was studying. You make a timetable for every day. Monday, I'll study this, Tuesday, like this. So you make a 3-hour study timetable from 1 to 4. And then after that, you can go coaching or you can continue self-study at home. But it's very important that you should not have any time for social media and movies. Our principal Sahab told me his story. He says, I used to watch a movie every day in 11th and 12th, and I knew it did not do me any good. But of course, he was very dedicated. He excelled, but he is not. He said that, and I want to share that with you, that social media for you is a waste of time. It's a time killer. Next slide, please. Time management is very important. So what do I see? I've been practicing here in America since 1965. In between, I was a professor and head of the department endocrinology at Banaras Hindu University for 7 years. But I see a lot of Indian students, Indian doctors, Indian engineers. What do I see them? That they have poor communication skills. They may know their knowledge about medicine or knowledge about computer may be okay, but they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to express themselves. Cannot prepare a report. If you tell them to prepare a report on a project and make a presentation, they flop. They're lost in words. They cannot put their thoughts, cannot summarize something. It does not come naturally. You have to practice for that. And we'll make sure that you learn that in the school here. Lack of self-confidence is something else. If you have inferiority complex, you cannot perform well. Self-confidence, how do you get self-confidence? Self-confidence is not something which comes like that. You have to practice it. Every day, you should, just like we started our prayer, Kayena Vacha, effort I can do. Karmane vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. If you have that, I will put up my best effort. And I have no control on the result. So don't worry about the result because that kills your self-confidence. That says, oh, I didn't do that well. So they are good in computer skills. But if you take interviews, they don't know how to present themselves in the interview. And here in this school, we take many interviews for teachers. I tell you, the interview starts the moment you enter the room. How you enter the room, what is your body language, it tells me a lot. So it's not something you are born how to give an interview. We will give you lessons at IHS, how to give an interview, how to prepare your resume. Because if you're skilled and you don't know how to present that, reduce that in a piece of paper, then all that knowledge which you have is not known to the person who is interviewing you. So, accent, this is another thing. Indian doctors, the computer engineers here don't have to interact with people so much. They can get away with that. But Indian doctors have a heavy accent because we speak a different language at home and we speak different language, English, at work. So the Hindi grammar and the diction that comes out when you talk English. So they think in the native language and then translate and talk into English. And our Hindi is a phonetic language that whatever, every syllable you talk, you spell out. But English is not. We have our English head of the department here in the meeting, and he will tell you, Ganesh, he will tell you. So you have to get over that accent, and you cannot get over that accent by just, okay, I will only take coaching. There's nobody teaching you. So we will make sure that your accent improves. If necessary, we will try to hire a speech therapist. Now, this is something what they do here. When the doctors have problem, patients cannot understand, then the hospital hires a speech therapist. And they say, okay, you go to the speech therapist and you learn how to pronounce the words. Next, please. So, what are we offering? At IHS, we have very good English department. Excellent. Because I get reports of the teachers every week and the coordinators are giving me report. We will teach you communication skills, both spoken and written. We have a skill class. We have designed a skill curriculum from first grade to the 12th grade. If you have been in our school from the beginning, you'll be a different product. But if you just come and join 11th class and you studied elsewhere, they may not know all those skills. So we have skill classes. But besides all that, we will let you do mock test for JEE and NEET. So you'll see what kind of examination. We'll give you that in the beginning of this session. So you'll know what you're going to face. Now, the next point about Germany, German studies. We are going to hire a German PGT. So we'll offer optional subjects Sanskrit and German. Sanskrit is very important because it gives you wisdom of our ages, but is one important aspect of Sanskrit. You can score 100%, like you can score in mathematics, Sanskrit. But the German, why are we introducing German studies this year? Recently, German Chancellor came to visit India, and he brought a delegation with him. And I studied their statements. They said there's a big shortage of workforce. There's a big shortage of workforce in Germany. But the people who come from non-German sources, they don't know German. That's why sometimes they're not selected. So we'll prepare you, and your chances of getting an employment in Germany will improve by learning at least some German that you're familiar. Next, please. So these skills I was talking about, different skills will give you. How to write a resume, mock interview, personality. I will request Mr. Gupta, the PGT Commerce, to arrange that not just for commerce students, but prepare a lesson plan for giving the demonstration, presentation to all the students, not just commerce students. We have classes on personality development, how to develop a personality. A personality you have to develop. You have to project yourself. Persona. You have to, your body language should speak for itself. Body language is very important. That's what I was saying, that when you enter the interview room, your body language tells a lot. How you're dressed. You have to be dressed smartly. You have to know how to dress smart. Building self-confidence, communication skills, how to make a flyer. Yes, suppose you're going to go into a business and you want to publicize. Starting a business, we have lesson plan for starting a business. Tally proficiency. Tally is a skill which is used by accountants. And if you know, if you can get that skill here at IHS, you'll have employment. It's not like only doctors and engineers make a living. There's so many other options. We'll give you computer proficiency certificate. There's a test. Mr. BP Gupta is here in the meeting, HOD computers, and he will tell you what does it take to get you a typing certificate and computer proficiency certificate. We will teach you basics of cardiopulmonary arrest. A lot of times now you find people dying suddenly, cardiac arrest having at home. By the time the ambulance arrives, it's too late. So we'll teach you how to keep the person around, alive, till the ambulance comes. Yoga and meditation. So all these skills we're talking about, they are not taught in the yoga classes. Well, besides all that, yoga class cannot offer you an apprentice experience. I was talking to my son who works for Microsoft in Burlington. He says the high school has approached him with a list of students that these students want to spend some time with my son to be an apprentice, to see how he does his work. So that is something you cannot get in coaching. Next, please. So we are planning something, schooling and coaching together. And this is just an example of JRS, but JRS is going to hold on April 2nd a test for scholarship. And if you are interested, we can arrange that. You can ask Principal Saab and he will arrange that. This is for 11th and 12th class only. There are other options. Next slide, please. This is something new. Circle Club. This is not a spelling mistake. It's spelled SIRCLE. It is founded and run by students from the IIT BHU. They have created a club called Circle with 3 sub-clubs. So one of them deals with personality development, mental well-being, second one, and the third is career counseling. This is very important because there are so many careers. They can go into depth and they can be your mentor, Sakha, that there are other careers and good earning careers. It's not like Kam Chalao. So that is something is available, but there's an extra cost, 400, and they will actually want to take your time 1 hour every day for 1 year. So you can join that. They will make a presentation on the 24th of March here at IHS, and you can find more details from the school and try to attend that. I invite all of you to join. Next, please. So in conclusion, it will pay you better to stay at International Hindu School. Attend the coaching if you want. There are many choices, but in the evening, do not overestimate your capability. Be realistic and explore other options besides NEET and JEE. So at the end, I'll wish you a happy Holi. Now, if there are any questions, please put them in your text, and Krishna Avtarji will, our vice principal, will mention those questions. Do you have any questions? Or any of the teachers, they have any questions, they can also ask. It's not only confined to students.
अजय सर अनम्यूट कर दीजिए ताकि so that anyone can unmute themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Or
Don't
you,
talk. Yeah.
or you can raise your hand. We will unmute you. If you want to ask any question, you can raise your hand. We will unmute you.
तो त्रिवेदी जी आप पूछिए ना कुछ कमेंट करिए इसके बारे में. If you no question, at least make a comment. The teachers can make a comment, a brief comment. I see
Yes,
Patanjali
Pranjali,
Pandey.
you unmute yourself. You can unmute now.
Sir, we want to join NCC and we're not getting this faculty in our school. So what about of this?
Yes, I like you to have NCC experience. I had NCC experience when I was in BSc, when I was in my bachelor's in the university. We are trying to hold it here at our school. We have been applying and approaching them for several years, and they have only limited number of, because they have to assign an officer. So we are on that list, and I'm glad that you're showing an interest. But eventually we'll have it. Right now we are trying, but we are not able to have it yet.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Comments from teachers? Mr. Manoj Kumar, you have a comment?
प्रणाम सर.
खुश रहिए.
Yes sir.
What is your comment about this presentation?
Overall presentation is good. It is all of the points for the career of students is good. According to the career of students, there is no need of attached to social media. This point is very important point. Students have to avoid themselves towards social media and focus their career.
Yes. Thank you.
Pranam.
Anyone else
Nagendra
want
ji?
to ask anything?
I'm sorry, somebody wants to say something? Raise your hand. Yes, Mrs. Samant. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself first.
If you have told enough, I think not left a single point, what I have been seeing. So they are very well informed. I am there as an experienced of, I have raised my 3 sons and they all cracked in the first attempt and 30 batches of 12th. So I can just share my experience also with them and do their parental guidance. I would like to talk to in touch with their parents also, and I can guide them how to daily, how make the timetable, what to do, and that. I am ready for that.
You know, if the students have any question or if the parents have any question, they should contact before making a decision about
Yeah.
coaching or before deciding to leave the school. Talk to the school principal, vice principal, Mrs. Samant, and give them a chance to explain so that you take an informed
Yes.
decision.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Dr. Akhilesh Pratap Singh, you have any comment?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, actually, is very good session, but it is. I have some request.
Yes.
Today's all students from fifth, sixth to eighth, ninth and tenth, and 11 and 12 so much confused to choose their careers. So in next month we are going to start new session as new classes. So if there are possible to addressing for the classes 6 to 8, because they are very uh, kids and they are so many hobbies, so many curiosities, but they are confused. After all, their parents cannot be explained to them. So if from your side it's addressing to going on, I think very helpful to make a career to choice, and 9 and 10 they are stay, and also in 11 12 they can stay.
Yes, yes. Okay, it's a good suggestion. We will agree with that. We will do something.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You can still send the questions. You can, it's not that the session is over. You can send your questions